Hello, Mr. Pearson here today, trying to tell you how to change decimals to fractions and fractions to decimal. Uh, Hopefully a short explanation of the process. So let's start with what I'm going to call the easiest one, but it all depends on what you know. Turning a decimal into a fraction. Basically, if you can read the decimal, you can turn it into a fraction. I happen to know that this is 36 hundredths. So it very quickly turns into fraction because I can read it properly. For granted, that all is based on knowing your place value. Here we have the tenths, and here we have the hundredths. So this is 36 hundredths. So it can very quickly turn into a fraction, and then we go through our next process of reducing, however you want to do it. Both of these are divisible by 4. So we could get 9 for 25, and I don't believe I can go any farther than that at this point. So decimals, fractions, just read the decimal, turn it into a fraction, then you can reduce if needed. Going the other way, there's going to be a few examples, so I can bring up a few things here. So if we are going from fractions to decimals, let me start with 3/5 here. The tried and true method is just, this is a division problem. So I can do 3 divided by 5. 5 will not go into 3, so I will have to add some decimals. 5 goes into 36 times. Okay, and our answer is 0.6 or 6/10. I'm also going to point out one thing as I move to my next example is there are other options, as always in math. I could turn this fraction into a power of 10, which we're going to find is pretty easy. If this is tenths, that means I've doubled it. So if I double this one, so there's another way that you can quickly notice that it will be 6/10 as a decimal. So whenever you have a power of 10 at the bottom, like 21 hundredths, again, if it's the exact same as the decimal. So 21 hundredths would be 21 hundredths. We could do the division if we wanted, but for something like that, we don't have to. And then I just wanted to show you a few things. When we divided this, we get a terminating decimal, so a little vocabulary. Terminating decimal. If we have 2/3, we're not going to turn that into a power of 10. We're going to do the division 2 divided by 3. And just to show you again some variety of things that happen. 3 goes into 26 times, we get 18, we get a remainder of 2. We bring down another 0. 3 goes into 26 times, we get 18, we subtract, we get 2, we add another 0. And as you can see, we're going to get a repeating pattern. We're just going to keep putting 6s there forever. So this is called a repeating decimal. And we have a symbol for that. We usually just put a line over it to represent the repeating number. And lastly, I want to show one more example of stuff that can happen. We have 7 over 11. And I may have to give myself as much room as possible here. So let's take a look at this one. That would be 7 divided by 11. And I'm sorry I'm writing over stuff, but hopefully I can make this work. 11 goes into 76 times. That'll be 66 with a remainder of 4. 11 goes into 43 times. That would be 33. Remainder is 7. Bring that down. 11 goes into that 6 times. That'll be 66 with a remainder of 4. And you start to see another pattern. All right, so this is a repeating pattern of 2 digits. So we would simply put the digits over those 2 and say that pattern would repeat over and over again, another repeating decimal. So hopefully that shows you a few examples of turning decimals to fractions, fractions to decimals, and it'll get you started on your way. Thank you for listening. Bye.